Do you know this feeling when you want to escape your life because you are under so much stress? And the problem is, how can you do that on a budget? I'm Theresa Khalil, I'm a writer, a documentary filmmaker, and on this channel I share my stories, my unique view, and here is what I did. I was going through so much stress recently and I wanted to have a retreat. But retreats are so expensive, right? So if you go for a holiday, let's say for 7 days for 700 euros, then if you go on a retreat, it will cost 2,000, 3,000, maybe 7,000 euros if you, for example, going for a retreat for entrepreneurs or something, or leadership, and you are mingling with other entrepreneurs and leaders. So I wanted to go on a retreat, but I didn't want to spend as much. So I organized for myself my escape retreat on a budget, and here is how. First of all was to decide where to go. And as I live in Croatia, and Croatia is a touristic country, everyone comes to Croatia from all around Europe and other countries. So I thought, okay, maybe I don't need to go somewhere else. I'll just go inside Croatia. I checked all the cities, and what I was looking for was activities, because this is what you do on a retreat, is that you go on a meditation retreat, yoga retreat, art retreat. So you are actually doing something. So I checked all the cities and I found that Pula has the most activities. So I will talk to you about what activities I joined and organized for myself. But once I decided on the city, I booked the hotel. The hotel had not so good reviews, to be honest. It was 3 stars. Some complained about the towels, that they are so old. Some complained about the breakfast, that it was horrible. Some complained about the receptionist, that she never smiled. And when I went, to be honest, I found that the receptionist was so polite, so shy. So she doesn't smile, but she's very nice. And I found that towels, yes, are not new, but they're clean. And I found that the breakfast was amazing. So I really don't know, but the price was very good. So then the transportation, and I went by bus, Flixbus. But of course there was also the other option, which is BlaBlaCar, but I couldn't find a car on the day I wanted to travel. But also, if you want to travel on a budget, don't forget couch surfing, because I'm an old couch surfer, but this time I just wanted to be in a hotel. So what activities did I organize for myself? The first day I organized for myself the olive oil museum and a workshop on how to discover the real extra virgin olive oil. So it was very useful because they told us that you may have this amount of producers of extra virgin olive oil, but then you have in the market all these olive oil companies, extra virgin olive oil, which is of course means that many of them are cheating. So the workshop was teaching us how to discover the true extra virgin olive oil. And for the supporters on Patreon, I will make a video to show you what I learned and how can you discover the true extra virgin olive oil. Another activity I organized also for myself was something related to health and wellness, as you know, because I had health issues and I was on healthy diets for about 5 years. I think I made a video about it. And I came out of all those diets and I actually didn't know what to eat, what not to eat. And then I discovered this doctor in Pula who is actually, she's an alternative medicine doctor, and she used the concept of Chinese medicine. So she has this device that has one needle and one pole where you just hold, and she can check the point on your skin and tell you what are you tolerant, what food are you tolerant to or intolerant, and also what your vitamins, what vitamins you are lacking. And to be honest, it was so cheap. It was 15 euros for this test, and I enjoyed it a lot. And of course the pin hurt when she keep putting the pin on the same point, but 90% of what the food that she told me is problematic for me was really problematic. And she told me, don't tell me Let me tell you, and then you tell me if it's true or not. And yeah, so the beans, the chickpeas, the lentils. She also told me the raw onion, and that's true. The raw onion get the hell out of me. So she made me list of the food that I can eat until my digestive system relax or rest, and then I can start reintroducing things. So this is what I'm trying to work on now. And in my Patreon video, I will share more about what she told me and also what vitamins I'm lacking. Another activity I organized for myself was a workshop for painting on the beach with the Renata. And actually, this workshop was the reason why I started, uh, why I chose Pula, because I was looking for a city that has the activities that I like. And when I saw this workshop for watercoloring, and I'm interested in watercoloring, if you follow me on Instagram, you can see my naive drawings. So the workshop was the reason why I chose Pula actually, and I went and it was amazing. We had it on Stoya Beach, and she was very understanding, very easygoing. We had amazing conversation that I will share part of it also on the Patreon, because she was talking about how that she's an architect, but she wants to be an artist full time. And so this is really like, I think that's a struggle for every artist on how can you make money or as a full-time artist, you know. So she's so friendly. We had great time. I will leave a link to her workshop if you are interested or if you want to know more about her activities. Another thing, of course, I wanted to organize for myself was meditation. Okay, I usually meditate at home, but I wanted to make like an intense meditation. And I used some, usually at home I use Joe Dispenza meditation, but for this retreat I tried Deepak Chopra, and that was new to me. So just something for change. And I was always watching videos, inspirational videos for Eckhart Tolle, Joe Dispenza, to relax, you know, and to be inspired. And also, so that was my health and wellness. I was just having my laptop in the hotel and trying to relax, de-stress, and be in a good mood.
It is more negative than positive. A good event that happened yesterday.
Although I had all those things organized, I also left space for improvising and discovering new things and just going with the flow. So, for example, this girl, Renata, who's organizing the art workshop, out of the blue, she didn't know that I'm on a journey to understand life. She didn't know that I have a documentary film of someone who converted to Buddhism. She doesn't know that I have a podcast, the Scrapbook of Life, where I meet people who change their belief. But she just told me that her parents went to a lecture for someone who changed his belief from atheism to Christianity, and that he's Canadian, I think Serbian or Croatian, and he gives lectures all around the world, uh, sharing scientific miracles in the Bible to prove that the Bible is true. So I thought it was interesting, and I decided to go and attend this lecture, although my Croatian is not the best, but I managed to go. And that was a church of Seventh-day Adventists. I heard about them before, and I know that they have people who live long time in great health. So that also was a motivation for me to go and listen. And I listened to him, and he was trying to explain how that, for example, as a scientist, he's a biologist. Okay, so he was describing how that now the forests in the world are decreasing. And then he found a verse in the Bible that says, for example, that in the future will be, I don't know, dryness or something like that. And so that was for him a proof that the Bible is true. I didn't see, to be honest, the connection. And also, I know that there are also scientific miracles in the Quran, and there are scientific miracles in the Baba Gita, and so I don't see how this can be a proof of one religion is true, because all religions have it. So I didn't continue the lecture and I went out not knowing where I will go. And that was the improvising part of my retreat. As I was walking in the street, I found a place that was glass and I saw a woman inside. She was smiling at me. So I went to see who is she and why she's smiling. So I asked them what is that, and they said that there is this is a lecture, another lecture of also a biologist as well. Look at the coincidence. And but she works in bioart. So I didn't know what is bioart, I never heard of it before. So I went, I attended, and it was in English. And it turned out that she's an artist from South America who resides, I think, in Netherlands. And she is in this residency experimenting and trying to make things, biology stuff, but she makes them in artistic way. So for example, she said she had flowers and she removed the cells from the flowers, so the flowers became colorless and just outline. And then she made an exhibition like of flower graves. So that was for me like a bit scary. A lot of things in this lecture was so scary for me. How you as a scientist or biologist, you are using life form to, for example, grow fungi or bacteria or something like that in order to make something artistic. There are other things as well that I will share in the Patreon video because they are a bit harsh. But one of the things that I really learned in that lecture was when she was talking about tattoo. So, when you make a tattoo, you inject ink in your skin. And she said that the body actually tried to protect you from that ink that you injected in your body. And so it make like something defensive to keep the ink in its place. And that's how the tattoo lasts for a long time. But it's actually something that exhausts your immunity system. And I never thought of having a tattoo. I'm not someone fan of tattoos, but I really didn't know that there is something scientific behind it. I will leave a link to this bioart artist, her Instagram, if you want to know more, learn more about if this is of interest to you. After that, I also went walking randomly in the streets. I found a concert. The weather was amazing. So I just felt alive. That was the moment that you feel life. You feel you are alive. But of course, at the same time, I felt so sad because I knew that this will not last. On this retreat, I allowed myself to eat whatever I want because I'm coming out of all those healthy diets. So the healthy part was that I don't bother and think too much about what I'm eating. So just enjoy whatever I want. So as you see, I already arranged for myself all the activities. Majority of them were arranged. But at the same time, I also didn't lack the human interaction because, for example, I had my instructor in the olive oil workshop. I had my instructor in the watercoloring workshop. I also, sometimes I would be just sitting in a cafe and there was some chairs free around me and there was no other space. So a woman and her daughters came, they sat with me. I discovered that they are from Poland and they have been to Egypt in January or February, and I'm from Egypt, so they were like, oh, what a coincidence, and we started chit-chatting. So definitely traveling alone doesn't mean that you will be alone. If you want to travel and you are afraid to travel on your own, or you want just speak about it and talk about it, you can reserve a listening session where I will just listen to you without judgment. We can think together and maybe you will find what you want or how you will do it on your own during this listening session. So I will leave a link down below to the listening and listening is free on this channel. Some of the things I did as well was just walking around, enjoying the view, walking around the street, sitting in parks. And really, I totally forgot about the stress that I had. You know, sometimes if you can't change the environment while being in it, just change it. Just leave this environment. Of course, the best thing is to change your mentality, but that's also the most difficult. Or I mean, changing your mindset. So if you change your mindset, you have the stress around you, but it doesn't bother you anymore because you fixed here. But it is the most difficult part. So sometimes it's just easier to escape the stress and leave. And so that's how I arranged my own or organized my own retreat, health and wellness retreat, and art as well, and everything that I wanted with the minimum budget possible, because I just booked everything separately and I had really very good time. And that is my story for today, and see you in a coming video.